I would have been like, how naive can you be? Reese is absolutely losing it after Clark snagged yet another prestigious title in the sports world. Let's look at the big news, which is Clark has been named the Associated Press Female Athlete of the Year. But hey, jealousy is human, we get it. The problem isn't feeling envy. It's what you do about it. Instead of stepping up your game, you're out here hosting marathon live streams on your so-called platform, unapologetically Reese, while Clark is busy breaking a sweat. Was Reese even in the conversation on this? Because I cannot imagine that she was. Somewhere, she and others are all punching air, okay? Be in shambles, that's all we got to say. Be in shambles. And then, as if that wasn't enough, you try to spin the narrative, calling out Clark's success as nothing more than privilege and claiming her fans are biased. Seriously? Blaming the world for your shortcomings isn't the flex you think it is. Maybe instead of pointing fingers literally and figuratively, you should take a page out of Clark's playbook, work hard, stay focused, and let your game do the talking. But self-awareness clearly isn't your strong suit. Notice that doesn't say Female Basketball Player of the Year. Nah, she's a female athlete. She beat out, for example, Simone Biles, not to mention others in the league. Reese is queen of taunts, master of theatrics, and the ultimate ambassador of finger-wagging. While Clark was out there rewriting history books and carving her name into the Mount Rushmore of women's basketball, Reese was busy auditioning for the next viral TikTok moment. Reese completely missed the memo on what actually matters in sports: skill, legacy, and not embarrassing yourself on a global stage. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. Clark didn't just dominate 2024. She obliterated it. Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year? That's a mic drop moment for the first WNBA player to snag it since the award's inception in 2019. Over 27 points per game, leading the league in scoring, breaking more than 60 records. Clark wasn't just good. She was transcendent. Meanwhile, what was Reese doing? Reliving her 15 minutes of fame from a year-old championship game, where her antics overshadowed the actual victory. Even others had to accept that this time Clark's brilliance wasn't limited to stats. She dragged the Indiana Fever, yes, the same franchise that hadn't sniffed the playoffs since 2016, back into contention single-handedly. Her games were must-watch television, her arenas were packed, and her influence extended beyond the court. Forbes 30 under 30? Check. Comparisons to Michael Jordan and LeBron James? Absolutely. Reese's biggest contribution to basketball culture seems to be her role as a walking, talking lesson on what not to do if you want to be taken seriously. It's almost poetic how Reese's NCAA championship antics now feel like ancient history, especially when Clark's achievements have eclipsed her so completely. Let's not kid ourselves. Reese had a great collegiate run. Her stats were solid, with 23 points and 15.4 rebounds per game during LSU's championship season. But her legacy isn't about those numbers. It's about that finger wag, that smug ring pointing, and that infamous taunt aimed at Clark. Reese turned what could have been her crowning moment into a sideshow act. And what's worse, the audience has moved on. Clark's the main event, while Reese is the awkward post-credits scene nobody asked for. Excellence indoors. The contrast between these two athletes couldn't be clearer. Clark lets her game do the talking. She doesn't need to wag fingers or wave imaginary rings because her numbers and accolades speak volumes. Reese, on the other hand, seems stuck in a loop, desperately trying to stay relevant with theatrics that feel more forced by the day. While she's busy figuring out her next move, Clark is out here making history. Reese might have had her moment in the NCAA spotlight, but Clark?
She owns the spotlight now.
Theatrics might get you a headline, but they won't get you a legacy. Clark is out here becoming a global icon, elevating women's basketball to heights it's never seen. Meanwhile, Reese is still riding the coattails of a fleeting viral moment. It's time to take notes because while Clark is busy building an empire, Reese is stuck being the court jester in her kingdom. Thanks for watching and subscribe my channel.